Can everyone hear me? Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for taking time to be with me today for the next 30 minutes. I'm Michelle Munson, CEO, co-founder of Eluvio. If you like what you hear in this presentation, please come visit us. We're in the West Hall, room 237. So you just go out up the stairs and you'll find us in a big overhang meeting room, and we'll give you in-depth demos of everything that I'm going to cover today. Our technology, the content fabric, is deeply involved with live sports and the monetization of the distribution. I want to spend a little time today talking to you about what one of our customers has been able to achieve through using the fabric to transform their direct-to-consumer streaming and their archive of the past, 15, 20 seasons. And along with that, what they're doing going forward with the technology. Some of you may have seen our press release. This is with URC TV, United Rugby Championship. They're one of our live streaming customers. They first of all, started like many streaming companies do, with a big problem in cost and profitability. They also had the challenge that they had a heavy burden of operation with their prior provider, and they also were only able to reach certain parts of the world. And after their first season of using the content fabric, these are the numbers that they came back with. They were able to dramatically reduce their costs. They increased their revenue, even while reducing prices, and increase their subscriber base by almost 3 times over previous. They serve 159 countries, and the entire solution, and this is what's really different and the subject of my talk today, the entire solution is 0 copy, 1 stack. 0 copy. This is the topic that you'll hear me talk about throughout the Eluvio technology overview. What do we mean by this? Right? Throughout content distribution for the last, let's say, 20 to maybe even 25 years, we've been following a very traditional approach to distribution that makes versions of content, repackages those, distributes them through CDN networks, caches them, and then does that process again. And in live content, that happens not only with the live, but then the republishing and redistribution of the VODs and the various derivatives. The big idea with the Eluvio content fabric is to replace this with a new technology that allows for not only a next generation CDN, but a new way of distribution that allows for any content coming in to serve any need going out without having to redistribute, recopy, retranscode, or repackage the media. How is this possible? Well, first of all, this is a ground-up technology that we built to run over-the-top standard internet networks. It's based on a novel content-native routing protocol designed to be low latency worldwide. The security is built into the content as well as the rights in data. Everything is data native. And then finally, it allows for unlimited remonetization of the same content. This is implemented as a global network that allows you to output streaming, live and VOD, output static content, and output any type of content experience without having to redistribute the same content. This solves the fundamental problems that today plague the whole industry: profitability, complexity, reach, and the desire for scalable AI personalization. For example, in a traditional workflow, you start with upstream source content, transcoding, packaging, sending that to an origin server. Then you have this multiplier where you have to duplicate this coming out of the cloud, typically using egress and core bandwidth. When you're doing live streaming, you're encumbered by the latency to get the manifest and the segments to caches. And then finally, you pay for the caching without being able to necessarily control the end-to-end audience data. And on top of that, how do you actually take advantage of AI data to personalize? The content fabric technology solves this. It solves it by allowing for a any-to-any distribution that is inherently designed to be content native, simple, one stack where you can reuse it for VOD, live, and static data, efficient with that reuse, scalable without limit, and also secure in the encryption and the authorization and the tamper-proof flow. We're showing our new Bucharest release here at NAB, which is really designed to get at these three major pillars of what sports and other entertainment and content industries are really struggling with. Number one, live broadcast feed distribution, doing that over the top, but maintaining the one-to-many economics of satellite and having true low latency, low jitter, high performance control. D2C streaming, most importantly, as we see with URC TV, being able to do full stack streaming that has advanced features such as multi-view, fast DVR, inline AI data for chapter highlights, play-by-play, and combining that together with inline entitlements, authorization, and sell-through. And then finally, AI. Not just AI externalized to the platform, but inline directly the media distribution experience. We've taken this idea of inline video AI to what I would call sort of like full zero copy pipeline. And if you're interested to see a little more about this, please stop by and see our booth here that's down in the AI zone 2300. The Eluvio Video Intelligence Editor, for example, is a frame-accurate application on top of the content fabric that allows you to curate clips and highlights directly from your live content in sports. All of that is done off of the parts in the network that the fabric uses without retranscoding or redistributing those. Zero copy, as I mentioned. It also allows you to, from that, create generative compositions, which might be shorts or trailers. And alongside of that allows you to tap into AI search and full analysis. We've extended this now all the way through the stack. So all of the features that allow for both video and audio analysis at scale can be used without having to externalize your content to the AI inference. So how does this all work? A few just simple pillars, and if you'd like to go deeper, feel free to come visit with us. Instead of storing files, the content fabric stores content objects. Those objects are by reference. They allow for media, metadata, and code to be chunked up and represented through a large-scale network, versioned and encrypted. Any outputs that are served on demand. So if you request a streaming URL, that is built by the platform, by the global network for you. Authorization and encryption is inline, and the authorization of each of those offerings, such as a streaming output for HLS and Dash, download of a clip, for example, or access to a live SRT feed, all of that is evaluated on request against an authorization policy, which is actually part of the data in the media. What does this mean? It means rights, windows, avails are all in place rather than having to apply those on top. And all of the reversioning that we typically do in media is done from one source object. We can extend this now so that we can do not only VOD and live, but we can also go directly B2B. We can do dynamic forensic watermarking and personalized dynamic insertion, all with a real-time flow. And then finally, at this show, we're introducing another just-in-time process, which takes advantage of the inline AI data to determine focus, ball tracking, and player tracking, and uses that to then guide the selection of crop points in the just-in-time streaming playout to generate, for example, vertical video without copies. How does this scale? Many of you might be wondering that. This is designed in a way that makes the audience scale the natural scaling bottleneck rather than the limitations of the technology. All of the segments are served with ultra low latency, both in D2C, which means that the actual fabric response time on top of 2-second fragmented MP4 is under 1 second, always globally. So you can do 3-second ultra low latency streaming to your consumers, to your players on a regular basis without brute force. That continues to scale independent of number of clients. It scales with node capacity. And then finally, when you introduce things like fast DVR on top of that, that's zero copy. So it doesn't add additional load to the process. So we get back to our use case with URC. URC started off with a sister organization called EPCR TV, also in rugby. 2 years ago, they took the plunge and adopted the content fabric for reaching their European professional club rugby, reaching their fans worldwide. That was very successful. And at that point, they made a recommendation to URC to take a look at this kind of play-out experience. Built on the Eluvio media wallet, and this allows for full stack direct-to-consumer OTT sites without having to build your own. Fabric supports APIs, but we also have this full stack inline for all browsers, all smart TVs. EPCR had been very successful. They were 70% profitable at the end of their season. They expanded to multiple new territories and recommended this to URC. After one season, URC had transformational results, and their managing director, Adam Redmond, actually volunteered this because he feels like this is something that can really change the whole industry of growing sports. 62% cost reduction, increase in transactions, 35% revenue growth, and almost 3 times the number of subscribers they had at the beginning of the season. And the most important thing, and you can see his quote there, is opening up the autonomy, the cost control, and the quality of the experience. And then obviously, stronger monetization is a main benefit. So what does the fabric do in this case? Allows for live and VOD, allows for unlimited multi-view, and you can see here one of the great things about multi-view is, in this case, is that it's lightweight. And the fabric allows for serving any of these different views and switching what the client is interested in a lightweight way. Separate audio tracks, fast scrub DVR, chapters, transcripts, inline, and play-by-play. And this is very important because, again, this isn't done externally. We're not taking the video, sending it over the fence to another AI stack to do this. This is running directly inline the fabric, generating metadata. And then you can see behind the scenes, this is the Eluvio Video Intelligence Editor, and you can see the auto captions generated, the play-by-play that's added, frame accurately, and then shows through the embeddable player through our APIs. And then finally, we've exposed this through our D2C stack, the media wallet, on all of the major platforms, and also supporting other advanced features like casting with strong DRM. Let's talk about entitlements and how they sell. The biggest thing in sports, of course, is to satisfy the live appetite of the consumer. And all of these passes that you see for single match or full season subscriptions are actually implemented on the fabric through a blockchain contract. And we have actually built out a full stack for creating subscription, rental, and pay-per-view proof of entitlements and an API with direct checkout and sell-through through Stripe and Google Pay, Apple Pay. If you like to see a demo, come upstairs. I want to now transition this in the next few minutes of my presentation. Let's see how much time we're getting close on time to a couple of more use cases. Cricket Australia doing the same thing with archive monetization through their ShotVault app. About 15 years of cricket is hosted in the fabric now, and then clips are dynamically made from using the AI stack from the full-length content. Also, we service the live games, the live matches. Those are recorded in the fabric to do the same. And then the ShotVault monetization site is served directly from the fabric. And then Red Bull, real-time AI personalized content. If you follow Red Bull, they do many emerging sports. So together, we built a new frame-accurate inference model for breakdancing, which they applied for BC1, the Breakdancing World Championships. This allows for inline inference in the fabric during the live streaming, and then an API for extracting the moves and providing them on screen in their interactive player. And I'm going to wrap up here with the final pillar of the fabric, which is the AI runtime pipeline. What's really nice about this is that it plugs directly into the content and then creates metadata parts that are written directly into the content objects. All of the raw models that the fabric supports, and that's obviously extensible, are many. You can see here celebrity, landmark, OCR, logo recognition, pose recognition, focus, speaker recognition, many others. These all run in line as the live stream is happening, or as the VOD is, or on the VOD after the fact. And the raw tags and the vectorized embeddings that we create are then processed by agentic APIs that we built, some fine-tuned, some from open source, that allow us to create automatic highlights, compositions, chapters, summary generation, extracting topics, and doing, of course, Focus ID for vertical video transformation. And if you come visit with us up in our suite, West 237, you can see live demonstrations of the Eluvio Video Intelligence Editor servicing this, pose analysis, and all of the AI intelligence, and a brand new capability. I'm just going to move through this because I want to spend a little time on the AI area, or our new Eluvio titles area, sorry. Evie, the Eluvio Video Intelligence Editor, allows the user to create, download, and share clips directly from the content, curate all of the AI analysis, run and manage the AI inference, review and curate all of the resultant summaries, make new vertical just in time. And this is a really cool capability because there's so much interest in reuse of clips for mobile. And that's, of course, zero copy. Prompt-based interfaces for creating compositions. And what are the compositions? They're really selections from the full-length content through the AI-based search within a ranking and a retrieval algorithm through a large model that runs in line to select the most relevant clips to the user's target. That becomes the personalized highlight reel. And the way that works in the fabric is all description. We're not redistributing, not retranscoding, just storing that description. So then when the user goes and plays out, we're getting those clips that make up that personalized reel. Adding pre, post, transition content. And finally, this is where I want to cap off. We are introducing here at the show a new full stack of AI tools running in the fabric designed for movies, TV, and live sports. One of the most important parts about this is it allows for all of the tooling to come together for both analysis and generation. Give you an idea, you can take a live event that has been made VOD and generate for that both full telemetry data, such as the pose model inference that you see here, generate a summary, have a set of shorts or trailers, reproduce the event, all of which are suggested through that AI pipeline. And then you can personalize this. We've created a set of, do you all know the MCP protocol? A set of MCP APIs that allow for calling these functions directly in the fabric. So I want to bring this back to the problems of today's live and on-demand sports. Traditional monetization for many in sports looks like this. Very small number of territories that are actually licensing the content. If you're not a big brand, your broadcast licensing, or a big league, for example, your broadcast licensing opportunities can be limited and falling. you've got the whole great world out there that you could be monetizing. If only you could reach it and you could do it profitably. So the whole idea of the fabric is to open this up so that anyone, all sports organizations, all entertainment organizations have the opportunity to distribute and monetize their content and do that over and over again throughout any of these unlicensed territories directly. And finally, going back to untapped content, such as in the archive, being able to monetize that as well. The tools behind this, we provide a full stack for this. The foundational fabric for all of the streaming, the metadata, and the performance, the cost efficiency, and then on top of it, a full stack CMS for creating no-code sites for browser and TV, and also microsites with our Pocket TV. Live stream management, which makes it easy to do with a small staff. The video intelligence editor for creating highlights, compositions, and cuts without copying again. And then being able to both merchandise your content directly inside of social, Pocket TV, and reach your broadcast partners with ultra low latency live video distribution at scale. This point sort of sets up every sports organization to do this much less expensively than they could on the cloud, and also be able to take advantage of all of these capabilities. A live match experience that is second to none, linear scaling with growth of audience, at least 10 times cost savings, depending on what you're doing, embeddable URLs that can be repurposed in social, and then finally, full stack monetization that goes directly from the viewing experience all the way to highlights, clips, and output results. Here's where sports organizations can land in this global video over IP future. Content Fabric acts as a multi-purpose open core, live feeds coming in, available for not only consumers, but also business partners and also social targets, and being able to repurpose all of that, data-driven, without making copies. The breakout advantages are obvious and significant. And I can see that my last slide is back on me. I want to invite you all to come and see what we're doing with the Content Fabric and our customer base, West Hall 237. Any questions? Good. Thank you guys so much.